And
No, I mean, like, okay, so remember I sent everybody
I got it. He said that he didn't get it.
but could you see everybody that was in it when I sent it? I thought I sent him one too.
Uh, no, I didn't see everybody.
Yeah, I told him he could. Yeah, that's why man, I apologize.
It's
That's
all
why
right.
I sent it to him. I sent it to somebody named Mike. I hope it wasn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like the last time. I mean, like the last time you thought that you sent to me, but you sent it to somebody
Yeah,
named Josh.
I sent it to I guess another Josh.
Yeah, we got common names, you know.
Yeah, my
I'm gonna go
apologies.
ahead and
Yeah,
send him
yeah,
this
he
number.
could. Yeah, that's my fault, man. I thought I had taken care of that. Man. Yeah, because I sent him I had his old number. I kept sending it to his old number. So yeah, that was my fault. He like, I ain't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother,
Brother Elisha, I had a question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
The other day you mentioned you had a new Bible. What Bible was that?
Um, Let me grab it.
Okay.
Well, it's a Holman. It's a Holman
Holman
Bible.
Bible. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Holman, and then I had the I've been using for years the Schofield Bible, and that's not the best Bible by any means. Um, but it's one of those Bibles where you know how you use a Bible so much that you know where everything is on the page, even
Mm-hmm.
if you cannot recall the actual chapter and verse, I know where
Mm-hmm.
it's at on the page in this Bible for the most part, because it's like my third one.
Okay,
So,
cool.
and
Thank you.
that's Schofield 3. Again, it's not the best Bible. He talking about the rapture, it's all bogus, but in the commentary, in the notes, but it's just from my memory that I know where it's at. And so this Holman Bible, my father actually saw one at a place around here, and I like the large print, so large print, so he picked it up. So I had that one, I had a small one, and I had a regular size one. So I got three of them as well. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay,
it's the
cool.
Holman Bible. What's up, brother Elber? How you doing, sir?
Good, sir. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Good, good.
We're
Good to
doing
see all
good.
you brothers. You
Yeah.
know, y'all making me feel bad because all y'all got full heads of hair. You know, I'm feeling like the old guy on the panel.
You got that grown man beard though.
Right. Trying to get that. I'm working on it.
Oh, well, you got to give up all this, you know.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, did you write another book? I think you mentioned another book.
Say again.
Did you write another book? I thought I heard you mention another book that you had written.
Yeah, I wrote another one. But it's a hold on, let me read this first real quick.
Okay.
Proverbs 16 and 31. It says the hoary head was like gray hair. It made me think about it when you was talking, brother Elbert. The hoary head is a crown of glory. It is if it be found in the way of righteousness.
Oh, okay.
So that's a blessing to get older, and to have
Right.
it gray.
Well,
I was
thank
telling
you.
the young person that I was like, man, I'm getting so much gray in my beard, but it's a blessing to get older when you got some understanding.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
got it late though.
but how many
I'm
don't have
thankful for it.
billions?
I'm thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
All praises most high. Yeah, so many don't have it. Hey, brother, Michael. My apologies, brother. I sent this to somebody named Michael.
No, it's fine.
I must not have, because it's a few Michaels in there, it's a few Joshes in there, it's a few Tims in there. Because it's just like people who corresponded with, and so sometimes I'll just put brother Michael, and I just like, and I thought so. My apologies, brother.
No, it's fine now. I figured it was something.
Yeah, you definitely invited, brother. That was my apologies. But Brother Tim, it's called The Feast Days of Shadow Things to Come. It's a short book. It's just a basic introductory to understanding the feast days. It's real short. And let me let this brother Austin in. So that's 7 books that I've written. Yeah. And in the process of writing some more. So this summer, hopefully. That's funny you mentioned, because I've been, I was thinking about that today, and how many I was trying to get written in the next few months. So, but yeah, it's another one. It's just, again, it's a short book. If you don't, it's for if you don't know anything about the feast days. That's all. It's just a short intro.
Brother Elisha, I was thinking about doing something like that as well for my son. Because he's on the way. I wanted to do like an ABC book of like something that it would be easy for him to understand and kind of get a basic of the scripture at an early age.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, we could. That's something we probably should talk about, me and you one-on-one.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
for sure.
And I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. Yep. Brother Austin, okay. Just let me know when if you would text a good time, like
sure,
we could talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, brother Austin, you frozen in time, brother. You there still? That brother got that senior photo, man. He killing me with that. All right. Well, hopefully that brother he might have to go out and come back in, because I thought he froze. But the topic for the day, he gonna come back in. The topic for the day is basically what's wrong with us. And I said, what's wrong with the women and what's wrong with the men? Because it go hand in hand. And I'm saying this based on, because we didn't have the truth, but it seems like it's just we're digressing, going just wayward. And so when you look at women today, what do you think, in your opinion, is wrong with them? And when you look at the men today, what do you think is wrong with them? And ultimately, what should we do specifically? Because we could say, oh, easy, get back to the work, but specifically, it could be based on a biblical principle, but what can we do specifically? So, Brother Austin, you straight now?
Yes, sorry. Did you ask me something?
Yeah, I was talking to you, and I think you probably lost reception because you were walking through. Is bricks around you, like a brick?
Yeah, it's a lot of bricks. Yeah.
So
sorry about that.
No, you all right. I was just saying hi, see how you was doing. Peace to you.
Peace to you. Peace.
I was talking about your picture. I said you had that senior photo.
There you go. Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
That's that get a job picture.
That's that get a job picture. Did you hear what I said the topic was?
About what Candace was talking about.
Yeah, and he's saying Candace Owens. I'm not necessarily saying her talking points, but some of the things she said, bro, I said, man, she's kind of on point. As far as she was talking about, at least what I saw was just a snippet about women and what feminism has done, third wave feminism. And so that made me think. And I saw another brother, I can't think of his name. Actually, he might have been a Latino. He's still a brother though. And he was talking about men today. So I can't remember what that was I was looking at though. But that's the topic. What's wrong with us? So I don't know where you want to start at. What do y'all think? Y'all want to start with the women or the men first? What do y'all think?
You probably should beat up on the men first.
Start with us.
Yeah, it's our fault. Yeah. All right, we can do that. I don't know. I'm gonna let this, because I asked Michael, you want to start us off? Since I accidentally had you going through some changes, or you want to wait? It's up to you, brother.
It don't make me no difference. I have no problem. It'll be something different.
But, you say what now?
I said I have no problem with that.
Okay, yeah. So what's wrong with us as men? Like, is it something we've lost over the years, over the generations? Is there something that
Oh,
they mean? Go ahead. What's wrong with us?
no, for sure, for sure. No, I think it's something we lost most definitely. I think I have this discussion all the time, even with my fiance and all that. We talk all the time about this, but um, but no, I just think I think it was some stuff that we lost over time and years ago. So I always think I don't necessarily always blame us, but I just blame what it went through and mainly all the struggle and
Mhm.
stuff that happened to us and why everything is so hard for us and lifestyle. But it's just something we just have to get back into by changing, how
We-
how we think and how and to basically help the future
Yeah, but hold
generation.
on. You didn't say a bunch of general things, right? Um, Name one specific thing that you think men are not doing that's right today. One specific thing.
Let me see. I say actually being there. I would
Oh,
think
presence.
yes.
Okay. Expound on that, brother.
Well, obviously we see a lot of us ain't. I say obviously you see that. I mean when you look at a lot of stuff on these videos and all that, a lot of us ain't there because either how they was raised and it depends. A lot of them taken out by either selling drugs in jail, all that stuff. I mean, like in my case, as far as you want to say, if I just speak on my case, as far as I mean, like my father was, I'll say that I always used to say that he was there but not there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, even though I had him until I was 14, but I say he was there was not there, but that was only because like after watching him and being around my uncles and them, I noticed that he was doing stuff when he was growing up. So and then I just noticed, um, how his mentality was, how he thought, how he thought that the what he glorified as I was reading him. He glorified that, the the super flies. So I would say the super flies, how he glorified that, being a player of him was what was hot and expecting,
Wait, let me ask you. Hold on. What you said why wasn't he there, brother? Was he, if you could
uh,
tell us?
when I say he was there but wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
because I would say he was always gone, and then there was abuse in the house. So it was that always if he wasn't with my mother, he was with another woman, you know. So it was like that. So it seemed like he wanted to come when he wanted to come. He wanted to be
Gotcha.
around. He wanted to be around.
And so at 14, they split up, or he?
But when she finally decided to just go and let it go,
Okay.
you
All
know.
right. Yeah,
So,
presence is huge. Um, I got my own thoughts about presence. I don't know if anybody else want to have something about men being in the home.
I can add a little something to that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of in a similar situation where my parents were married, um, but my father, I guess he felt like if he provided financially, then that was enough. Um, so he did work a lot. I didn't find out till years later that I was an adult that he had some
Another
other women that he used to see.
Did he have
Um,
another family?
he didn't have another family,
Okay.
but he had some other women he used to hang out with. I found out from my nephew, because he would bring the other women around his grandchildren from his first marriage.
Mm.
But I was mostly raised by my mother. I learned everything that I was gonna learn from my mother, and it wasn't until I got older and I had a car. My dad fixed my car one time, and that I realized how talented my dad was and how handy he was. He fixed everybody's cars in the family, that needed their car fixed. He did some plumbing, he did carpentry work. I remember he paved a basketball court in the backyard one time. And when I was in the military, I looked back and I realized I didn't have any of those skills. And I said, man, my dad didn't give me nothing, and I was thinking about how hard it was for me in my adulthood to learn new skills because I didn't learn anything as a child. I learned my first skills from the military as a military policeman. That was the first time I actually ever really paid attention and picked up a skill. And I just thought about how hard my life was up until that point. Permitted my dad didn't give me anything. Um, but my mother has 3 children outside of my father. I'm my father's only son. And so I grew up with one of my brothers. He's 3 years older than I am. And I thought about him one time and his dad. And I realized that when we were younger, that I only seen this dude come around one time. And as I got older, I think I was about 22 or 23 years old. And I asked my brother, I said, man, when the last time you talked to your dad? I said, man, I ain't talked to him since I was like 8 years old.
Mm.
And I was like, man, it really kind of hit me because I know that my brother, loves my dad as his own. But for your father to allow you to grow up all these years and not really even attempt to make phone calls, it was made me think about this man's character. Like
Mm.
your son is estranged and you okay with it. So he wasn't there at all. I think my brother went to go see him one time when he was an adult in Oklahoma. I think he lived in Oklahoma. He went to go see him one time. So my brother probably only seen his dad and talked to him in person maybe 2 or 3 times throughout his lifetime. And just not being there, I think that's a big void. Even though you had a father figure in the house, knowing your biological father is out there and not really communicating with you, like I think that would bother anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, brother, um, presence is huge. And you said a couple things, just Mike brought up presence and then you expounded on it. When you said only financial, as if you there, but you not there. And that's a huge thing, so you can't be by what Max say, you can't be at two places at the same time. You can't be at work and at home at the same time. He was talking about a woman though, but saying like you got to make that effort if you can, and that's hard, man. But that's something that, yeah, that's a big one. And like you said, skills, man, not passing down those skills. Um, it's something. Sometimes you'll see kids and they'll be like, they'll be little kids and they'll like I sometimes go to the range and you see little kids there. They like 10 years old, shoot better than the adults.
Yeah.
Somebody taught them that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They father, you see little kids hunting, they hunt, they know different things. They father taught them something they could pass it down. Like at the church, the brother that I think I mentioned this before, the brother that did the plumbing for us there, a good brother, his name Mike as well. That might have been who I sent that to, matter of fact. Now that I think about brother Mike, if I did it, you by chance hit his peace to you. Anyway, but yeah, he's a fourth generation, or his son is a fourth generation plumber.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So think about what he knows and how much he didn't have to go through the learning curve, because yeah, Yeah, and just the quote you said, your son is a stranger and you okay with it. That was kind of powerful. I don't know if anybody else want to expound on it. Hey, let me say this too. Brother Austin, can you help me out? Can you send Brother Joseph the code?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can do that.
He on here. He I don't know if he got it or not. And somebody called me from Florida. It might be him. Did anybody else have something to say on that? Or want to go and add something else?
Yeah, I can add on to that.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Kind of like what something that Brother Tim was saying, about a father being there and not teaching you certain things. That's the very reason why I got within the trade of carpentry. I realized that, my parents didn't teach me a whole lot. I mean, my brother, he's the one who taught me, my older brother, he's the one who taught me how to change a tire and how to change oil and things like that. I had to seek out those things. I had somebody else who taught me how to change my brakes in my car and things like that. I had to seek out those things. And that's something that, a father should be able to pass down to a son. So, if that person is there, if that person is there in their life, do they have the will or desire to pass on what they have learned to make sure that you can survive, to make sure that you can grow as a man, and so that's some of the things that I think about, because my father, he was there, what I'm saying, but he didn't teach me much, probably because he didn't have it, but there still is no excuse, because if you don't got it, you should seek it out. You should seek it out to learn it, because that's what I've been doing, seeking things out, whether it's on YouTube. I learned how to change my my motor in windshield wipers through YouTube, and a good brother, he helped me do that.
YouTube, everybody, daddy. YouTube teaching everyone.
Yeah, it's the modern day Alexandria, like a library. You can learn a lot of things from YouTube, but it's always good to have that one-on-one though with somebody, what I'm saying? Somebody to come along and help you. And I think that fathers, they should be doing things like that,
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Anybody else? One thing that men aren't doing. That's what's wrong with us. One thing that's we just out of pocket with. And that's not, of course, not every man. We're saying just something that's glaring that we're seeing amongst our men.
I'll jump in. Peace, brothers. Peace, everybody.
Peace, bro.
Yeah, we're not teaching our kids the commandments, man. We're not teaching our kids how to follow the Lord correctly. The biggest issue we have is knowing what a man is. First of all, we're a bunch of males, and we didn't learn how to be men as a nation. Thus, like, if you look around our condition as people, you could tell that the priests of the home weren't there, or they just did not know their role as men. So ultimately, looking at society the way it is, even if you're just looking at the whole world the way it is, as Hebrew men, men of God in general, we failed that position. Thus, for everyone is suffering. Everything around us is suffering, and especially our community is hit the hardest. Most of our men are dead or in jail, or they're in these streets. So we lacked playing our role. We didn't play our role correctly. Thus, we didn't leave anything to teach our children. We didn't leave anything we didn't set the standard in our homes in order for us to raise or live out a lifestyle that's acceptable by God. Therefore, we're reaping the what's the word? We're reaping the it's not the benefit, definitely, but we're getting the bad end of the spectrum. The curses are definitely on us for our disobedience. So we don't know God, and we're not serving him. A lot of us are not looking for him. So therefore we're everything's crumbling at the surface from the top. Fish stinks from the head down. So that's where we falling short.
Yeah, I definitely we're not teaching them the commandments, which is what we're commanded to actually to do as men in Torah. If we go to Deuteronomy, it tells us that that we are supposed to teach our kids the law. You know, just getting to it, Deuteronomy 4 and chapter 4 and verse 9, it says, "Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, unless they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons." You know, that's what it means when it says, train up a child in the way in which he should go. When he is old, he won't depart from it, right? You're supposed to be teaching them the law, statutes, and commandments. You're supposed to be providing a moral compass to the children, which, yeah, you don't see it. And you really supposed to, well, men really supposed to, they the priest of their home. And so you're supposed to teach that to everybody in your home, including your wife. You know, you the spiritual head of that home. And that's definitely something you don't see. You know, I think I may have mentioned that last week or not, but just some of the men around, even, you know, you look at churches today, they're full of women. Right, these churches are full of women. Men ain't in there, but it's not like men. They, you know, game peep game. You know, they might they might understand what's going on in that regard. They're like, you know, this is bogus. But at the same time, what way have you established? You can't just be at home drinking beer, watching the game. You got to find out what truth is, and then lead them in that direction. So, yeah, absolutely, I 100% agree. I mean, and they don't have a moral compass. And that's how you get it. You get it through instruction. So absolutely, brother. That's definite. I think Brother Elbert, and thank you for that. I think Brother Elbert was gonna say something too.
I was just going to add that, or look at, I try to identify the problem. And one of the issues I see now and today is I'm saying, what would we say that our men are effeminate? Are they afraid to stand up? And
right.
So when I look back, it almost seems like it started to happen. I'm like somewhere during the civil rights movement, in my opinion, where all of a sudden there were avenues opened up to us, to our fathers and stuff. You know, and they started focusing on being rich or whatever, because they could go certain avenues that they didn't have before. And instead of focusing on the wife and the family, now this is kind of from my experience, they focused on trying to create all this business and wealth and stuff, which that to the most part, they never actually materialized. So when I look at it, we forgot, we let society change our direction. Where we're going. In my opinion, we in that one verse, I use it wrong all the time, but it says, "Don't take the way of the oppressor." You know, by that, yeah, don't follow the sinner and all that. But so that's where I believe we started following something else, thinking society was open up to us, that we forgot what was really important in chasing riches. If that makes any, you know, at least that's from my experience. Because I have family members who made money, but they didn't spend much time with their children. And I had a discussion at work where a guy had, we were trying to decide what success was. And I said, I'm going home because my wife and kids still like me. But he wanted to go pursue, you know, more stuff on the job. And I said, I only get one shot at raising my children versus running all over the place trying to get more and more money. So somehow we got, in my opinion anyway, when these certain avenues were opened up to us, we pursued those and actually left what was really important, and that was family. And a lot of times in that, when these avenues were opened up, we abandoned Black women, in my opinion again. because they did stand by us when we was going through a lot of our pain and torment.
Okay, wait a minute, brother.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I just want to pick your brain a little bit on what you're saying, and just so I have clarity, because I thought you started off. You said something about. Are you saying, were you connecting effeminization with the civil rights movement? That's just two different things.
Well, those are just some of the things I was wondering, because like I said, I try to target the problem to come up with a solution. And no, I wasn't targeting the feminization with necessarily the civil rights movement. No.
Oh, okay.
No. But I was saying that's one of the issues. Is that one of the issues you're talking about, how men lost their ways? But the biggest part of that, when I was talking about how we let society put pressure on us to adjust our roles. Like, you can't tell your kid he can't go here. You can't tell your kid this. I did all that anyway, and I would get blasted for it. But
blasted by who?
By people telling me I couldn't do this. You can't do that. By family members and society.
Well, how you raising your kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Because like I told you before, I was really strict. But society says I can't do that. Like, you can't tell your son he can't wear a dress. Yes, I can. Or you can't spank your child or discipline him. I'm pretty sure I can. Because if I don't, if he ain't worried about what I'm gonna do, the police gonna shoot him.
I always say that.
He's down in the street, and they mad at him. They mad at father. They mad because their kid running around at 12:30 or 2:30 in the morning. Ain't nothing good out there at 2:30 in the morning for a 13-year-old. Get that boy home. Or I'm gonna drive around and look for you. All right, but that's me.
Brother, and I sound at the threat of sounding like a coon. I have a serious problem with the uproar that goes on when police kill somebody, right? I'm not saying it shouldn't be an uproar.
Right.
When it's not warranted.
Right.
When somebody, because you had cases that, hey, the cops are 100% wrong. I'm not. You should be up in arms about that. But why are we not up in arms about us killing each other? And like he was saying, I'm a firm believer. If you have, for the most part, if we have fathers, strong fathers in the home, there is no way that we would have all these murders of our young men.
Right.
There's no way that they would be filling up the prisons like they do.
Right.
So when you say that, I can't look past that. I'm like, hey, man, hold on, man. Look what's going on in Chicago every weekend, and it's nothing. It's not a big deal.
And it's starting here now.
We're really in Ohio, huh?
Carjackings are back in Central Ohio.
They back in Chicago too. Little kids, 10 years old, 12. Hold on. How was that? Remember you was telling me about that boy?
The one today or yesterday or whenever. The last one was 13. Out of
11 to 12 years old, carjacking.
Oh, yeah.
Like Grand Theft Auto or something.
Like Grand Theft Auto. It's a video game out here. And they will kill you like it's a video game. Because life in a video game don't mean anything. So that's how they treat people in real life. Like they're gonna come back or something. Like you're gonna get another chance with the controller. You can just turn the PS5 or whatever number it is off, and nah, man, that's somebody's life.
That's what I meant by bending by society. You bad if you spank your kids now. And now the system doesn't want to punish juvenile offenders at all, and neither do the parents. Okay, all right, I'll wait till we move on to the next one. I'm sorry, man.
No, you good, brother. I'm listening.
The thing that I keep watching these movements, and they got women.
Oh, you about to sound like a coon too. Go ahead.
They got women in charge all the time. But you know what? I've been called everything in the book. From a radical, whenever somebody doesn't agree with me, whether it's logical or not, I'm
Yeah.
gonna call a name.
They're not dealing in logic, brother.
I'm whatever you call me.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I'm not gonna try to prove nothing to you. I'm taking care of my business. My mission is the same regardless of what other people say. I gotta take care of my wife and my children, and now my little buddy, my grandson. But these last two shootings, I keep seeing women out front. They're exploiting your emotions. They have studied you. They have watched everything you do. They watch how you react to whatever going on, and you're being exploited. You're being exploited emotionally, and they're using you.
100%.
All right, I'm done.
No, you good, brother. 100%. You sent me something on that when we were talking about because you sent me about the she bought the $1.4 million house.
Oh, I sent you that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hold on. The irony of it all is that these movements, first of all, the Black Lives Matter movement was co-opted. It was a different movement. They co-opted it, and it is Black men that have been shedding blood, but then they're putting a program forth that destroys Black men, effeminizes Black men. When you look at their program, we look at their platform, and it is women in front. Yeah, it's 100% problematic, brother. And we have been bamboozled.
Yeah.
We have been bamboozled. I agree with you. Yeah, that movement is treacherous. People don't realize what because they're going off of sound, and like you said, some logic, you know. And in actuality, I'm and in jest, I said at the threat of sounding like a coon, but what you're talking about is pro-Black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You said it, because really the foundation of it, man, woman, and child. You know, and you as man being a protector and a provider. And that's who you worrying about. And that's their whole thing is destruction of the family, destruction of the man, effeminization of the man. Yeah, that's a problem, brother. And like you said, women at the lead, that's a problem.
Well, the men, the one guy was standing there letting his wife do all the talking. That's what I don't understand.
That's how it is at his house.
I'm a talk, and usually my wife pats me on my leg to calm me down. You know, that's generally how it goes in my house. Okay, but I'm done.
No, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, now, brother Isaiah, you want to go, brother? Because two people had their hands up like we in school. Brother.
No,
Peace,
brother. I
how
just
you doing?
wanna, I'm good, brother. I never get your text. I keep other people going through all the different Zoom rooms, Zoom numbers, and I had to text me.
I sent a mass text. Hold on, I'm
gonna read. It didn't get.
Oh yeah, I ain't get it to you. No, I sent it to you.
I didn't get it.
I'm looking at it now. I sent you one. I sent Joseph one too, brother Joseph. I thought I didn't. You didn't get it either?
No, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I sent them because I'm looking at the last one now. I sent one to brother Joseph, brother Isaiah. Everybody on here got one.
Okay.
But keep that number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
So, brother, I know I say this every week, right? I came from a different culture setting than, it was more British leaning setting. And yet we have the same identical problem. It's almost like DNA, right? The same problems. Every single one of the things you guys say here, I've seen at home. Right?
Can I stop you for 1 second though, brother?
Yeah,
just to say something, just so it's not lost. You said the same thing, and who in St. Vincent, who was over that island? You just said it.
Who's over there? The British.
Right. This ain't nothing but the same people's over here. You see what I'm saying? Like this is what we see amongst our people in particular is what's going on in this sojourn, right? In Western society, adopting these particular standards. And then for even in a society as a whole, you have a few people directing everybody. white, black, Latino, everybody, they directing everybody down the path to destruction. But yeah, it's the same thing. You gonna have, I got family Bermuda. Same thing starting to happen there.
Yeah.
But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
And for instance, I've never grown up with my biological father. And the funny thing about it, I inherited that because he's never grown up with his biological father, right? And the mentality was is just make kids and disappear, make another kid and disappear. That was it. You were a He-Man. You were this kind of person that everybody seems to like, right? And that mindset, I didn't want to get into that mindset. But man, when you're outside there and the women, they're nice, they're beautiful, you're weak because your father didn't teach you how to choose the right woman, right? Because he didn't know the laws of God, right? And for generations that passed on and passed on. And the only regret I have now in choosing a woman is because she not in the word and she hook on to the Catholic things. And everything you taught yesterday, man, it just hitting me in my face like if Ali punching me, right? But my thing is that when did we lost that whole family structure? When? How come these same people, they came to us and they teach us about the white Jesus, right? But yet that part that God asked to do, that institution he established from old days of marriage and the man taking care of the woman and teaching his kids and the things Joshua said, for me and my house. Why is it now I learning this thing, right? Why is it now I'm learning how to be a man, right? How to look, man. I after I made my first kid, I was not married, and I got married to my wife, right? And I still cheated according to the Western laws, right? I couldn't stop, right? Came to Canada, it was like a buffet, man. It just, and eventually I stopped when the word hit me straight in my face.
Buffet.
Right?
Okay.
And it's the fact, brother. It's the fact. It's and it was other
it's like
brothers
old
in the
country
game
buffet,
too.
or is this like
Man, it was I don't want to say, right?
yeah, let's not say. Go ahead, brother.
Right. But when the word hit you, start out at big regret, right? And
Absolutely.
I moved here because I wanted my kids to get better education, and eventually I moved here, and I have some regrets of moving because I think it's harder. Brothers, you have it hard out here. It's the concrete jungle it's destructive in every way. For instance, like Brother Elber saying that, he tell his kids what to do. In school, I remember me in the 80s, right? Bullshitting in class, and I'd end up in the headmaster office, bending over a chair, getting caned. And I couldn't complain to my parents because that was part of the growing up. That was part of what we, right, who didn't have at home, we get it there, right? I still have that respect for my teachers if I see them up to today, because they present themselves as somebody who is credible as a parent. And these are the things when I got out there, I just said to my wife, I said, imagine you come out here, you get hella nice, right? You allowing the kids to do certain things that, and when I say that's wrong, I'm being told I am a old bushman from down in the islands, right? You need to modernize. No, I don't need to. Oh, you're in this cult now and you're going crazy, right? No, I'm seeing something wrong, and I didn't know it was wrong till the word. right? So when the problem started, who started it, right? That's one of the things about it. And I know who started it. When I don't want to blame the 60s and the struggles that we put down, because in the islands we had the number we outnumbered the opposition, right? And yes, we had the struggles. Yes, we had South Africa. Yes, we had all these struggles around the world. But started before that, man. We declined before that, and that's my contribution.
Okay.
And one last thing, you see, Brother Elba said something again that was this man hitting all the nails on his spot. I spend my time now working to provide for my kids, and now my daughter, I lost my daughter. I can't say something to her. I can't have a cordial discussion, right? If I say anything about God, I'm a Catholic. I can't say anything. If I say something, my wife intervene and defend. And that's the other problem women have. Black women defending wrong.
We ain't there yet, brother. But yeah, no, what I mean as far as and I'm debating on whether or not we gonna get that. We didn't spend.
Brother, who pushed for this topic?
Huh?
That was you? Who entered this topic? That was you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a topic that I'll take 2 days next week again.
Yeah, I was thinking it might.
Because
it might, which is fine. It might be part 1 because it's already 8:20. So we could do it in 2 maybe.
Hey, when I said 60s, I meant the Cultural Revolution of the 60s, not just the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the Cultural Revolution. You're talking about
with the hippies.
Free love was a little bit after that. You saw the first wave of feminism, all that. Yeah, it's not just one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
At that time, the information took a longer time to get us. The information took a lot of time to get to us at that time in the islands to influence us. Right now, it's instantaneous. Right, so we still, some of the feminism thing, guys, you can get a good whooping in the islands for that. I don't know if it changed now. Some of the islands changing. We see the gays them heading down there to fight the laws and change the laws. But it's coming.
Yeah. All right, brother. Appreciate that. Brother Austin, you had your hand up, brother.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one thing that I think men do wrong is neglecting their purpose, even though if they don't like have any knowledge as to what the Bible says. Men don't even be pursuing anything. They don't be pursuing. At least that's what I see. I don't be pursuing nothing. It could be like a financial goal, or it could just be like just anything you could think about. I don't see men doing none of that, and I just see men. I see men like just wasting their times with futile things, and just floating around, just floating around as if they're not supposed to be doing something.
Yeah, you're seeing that more so. This brother Wayman here. You're seeing that a lot more so with young men, I think too. Like, they even have a term failure to launch. To the point where it's like they're not even, it's school, not a trade, not anything, not a woman, just video games, basement. And I think, and part of that is social engineering, I think, being pushed that way, being, young men being told, not realizing what you are, you're a man, that has all kinds of implications. Right. When you talked about when he made a man, he gave him dominion. Like that's what that's what you're supposed to be trying to acquire. You're supposed to be trying to make a way for yourself in this world. You're supposed to be conquering. You're supposed to be exhibiting power. You're supposed to be doing those things. You're supposed to be starting a family. You're supposed to be ensuring a legacy. These are things that you're supposed to do. And go ahead.
I was gonna say that they don't operate in a position of power, and they don't. I see that with older men, and I see it with younger men too, but they don't like they conform, to the world that's constantly trying to keep you a boy,
Hey,
So
you said they conform to a world that's constantly trying to keep you a boy.
yeah, trying to keep you a little boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And in addition, Brother Elbert mentioned in the workplace, and I was just thinking about the workplace, and I was just thinking about in the workplace how it is if you're a masculine man. A masculine black man in the workplace will catch hell.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And it's something I see more now.
You ain't going nowhere with that.
What's that, brother?
I say you ain't going nowhere. You ain't even reaching the top with that.
Yeah, I see.
Especially where I am.
Huh? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I'm in this little group on campus called MAPS. It's Mentorship for Prospective Scholars, where they have weekly meetings where they talk about different issues concerning society. And so we mention topics like these, and I'll say some stuff that like people ain't really heard before, and then they'll come from the position of like I'm hurt, or you like super masculine, or something like that, something hyper masculine, something crazy that doesn't make sense.
But you sound toxic.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. You toxic masculinity. And so when they say that stuff, no point in even talking. It don't. What's the point of me saying anything to you?
You're supposed to say, "I'll be that."
Yeah, that toxic masculinity built civilization.
All right.
Yeah, that's how it was built. Man, I was in the backyard just a couple of days ago. I was chopping that a tree. I think I mentioned a tree fell in my yard. I'm chopping this wood, right? I went through 2 chainsaws. They just keep. I'm axe and hammer, and I'm like, man, somebody cleared Maine with this.
Yeah.
Somebody went to Delaware with this. With the indigenous people. Look, do you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you look around. I said, yeah, you surrounded by brick. Who laid that brick? You know what I'm saying?
Feminists.
The feminists certainly did not.
I know. They're acting so.
Well, see, that's man's problem. That's the main problem we have is we tolerating all this foolishness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna we only reason that they have been empowered to the degree and out of control is because we have allowed it as men. Men in general have allowed this. Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say we fall for a guilt trip a lot of times because I remember my daughter one time said, "Dad, you don't trust me?" I said, "I trust you like a 16-year-old."
Yeah.
You know, she was trying to use a guilt trip. So I said, "Yeah, you a 16-year-old, you're gonna do something stupid." But
yeah,
you know, everybody use a guilt trip on you and you fall for it. So sorry.
No, you good, brother. You don't have to apologize, brother.
I don't want to take over the discussion, man. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh, my fault. Yeah, it's a guilt trip about even just being a man. You know, masculinity is seen as to the point to even where you seeing, you know, for the few things that are advertised towards men. I remember that Gillette commercial showed men in a very negative light. Who shows you in a negative light and then at the same time tries to garner your, you to patronize their product, that company and buy their products? That's crazy. But that's what, and when you say foolishness, this just made me think of foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. That's what children do. That's almost in Proverbs 22:15. That's almost like in a definition of being a child. And also the rod of this correction shall drive it far from him. You know, and that discipline is not there in the home.
Right.
So you don't have discipline, you can't be successful. And it might get you killed, actually, a lack of discipline. Anybody else have anything? As far as the question is, what anything that you see as men that we're not doing or failing to do today? What's wrong with it?
I think everybody hit the nail on the hammer, but my opinion, I think it's preparation. You know, I noticed that a lot of times growing up, becoming a man, or at least trying to be a man, if a father's in the house, they really don't prepare a lot of the young men to be a man. You know, they don't talk to them enough. They don't teach them. Life is full of life phases and difficulties and challenges. And they don't actually sit down and say, hey, man, sometimes you're going to be tested. Sometimes your patience is on the line. Sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. You never compromise who you are. Keep your identity. Be a man. It's just totally gone. You know, growing up, it seems like, I know in my neighborhood, I was one of the few that actually had a dad around. And people, I can see the differences from my friends to when they would come around me and come over my house, we talk and play basketball or whatnot. It was just a different type of vibe, you know, and it seems like they would always look at me as either an outcast or a leader. And it was cool with me. I mean, I really didn't care about people's opinion, but I just noticed that seems like it's really lacking in raising men, you know, in today's society. It's just like a void now. Like Austin said, we just male boys or whatever. It's just, you know, it's a strange society today.
Yeah. And that's not gonna be beneficial for
Right.
society in the future, you know. Yeah, manhood is not something that just happens, you know, you actually go into manhood. You just don't become a, you know, just because you have physically are a man doesn't mean you're operating in manhood.
Exactly.
You know, and like you said, a lot of it is about doing what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
The majority of it, I think, you know, doing what you don't want to do. They're trying to make you less of a man. They're trying to make you capitulate, like you said. They want you in perpetual boyhood. All societies, social engineering on your job. Your woman wants you to be a boy, but then she don't. That's funny. Like you see that going on. They want that, but they really don't want that. Because that's not what you really want.
My wife even told me, she said, women don't respect men that act like boys because they can just push them over. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you're right, but you can't tell society that.
Yeah, but they're saying what they want. Like I said, that Ralph Trask man, you know, that man with sensitivity. That's what they said. He think, and they saying, yeah, Ralph, but the reality is that they don't want that.
Strange, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it is. It's not logical.
Yeah.
It's not logical at all.
Throw me off. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta be a man regardless of what anybody says. Brother Khalil, you got something for us, brother?
Yeah, I'd say I think one of the big issues is a lack of accountability. Like saying, you know, I see a lot of people saying like I don't have time to do certain things, or it's this person's fault that like I'm not in the position I'm in. Meanwhile, you know, you taking 7-hour naps all day and you wondering why you can't get nowhere. Or, you know, you take the opportunity to, you know, play video games instead of picking up a book, or scrolling on Facebook instead of picking up a book and, you know, learning something. Or like going out and saying, hey, I haven't done something with my kid in like a week. I haven't tossed like the baseball with him in like a week. Let me, you know, as a father, let me be accountable and like take him outside and actually bond with my son. Or, you know, let me, you know, tell my son about like how things were when I was growing up, so he like can kind of get a feel of how it was when I was a kid, so he doesn't, you know, eventually make the same mistakes that I made, and holding myself accountable and making sure I pass down the information. So I think accountability or lack of accountability is a big issue in many facets of the sense.
Yeah, that's good. Man, y'all just making me think with what you're saying, everybody, Brother Mo, Brother Cleo, everybody. The last two just making me think. Everybody's making me think. It's it's good. Because as we talk, you think, okay, where am I deficient? You know what I'm saying? Where am I deficient at? You're like, man, I gotta tighten up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's been several times where like I had to check myself because of the things that I allowed to happen, or the things that like I was just questioning like, why did I fold up in that circumstance? And so to me it becomes disgusting because it's just like, how long are you going, not operate in full capacity of what God made you to be? So that's really what like has been changing me as far as I continue to grow, because I just look at all of the men around me and they just letting it ride. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying not y'all at all, but just like young people,
Yeah. I even what you're saying, I heard this is a Muslim actually. He said, he was talking, this is a whole different topic, but he was like, man, your fear as a man is an affront to God. So, ouch. Ouch. Like, I mean, you're basically, what are you saying? Like, he made you a man, but you refuse to operate in it.
Yeah.
You're afraid. You're a sucker.
And other men will clown you if you don't act like a man, especially like in a male-dominated workforce. Because they're always going to try you. Like, at least on my job, somebody was always trying me. And if you give, they push on you more. Matter of fact, Brother Wayman spoke about it when I was with you, brothers, a couple of weeks ago. He talked about hazing. And it does happen in the fire department. And if you giggle or whatever and let the mess go, it's going to keep going. But if you stand firm and say, hey, we ain't going to do that, they'll leave you alone and they'll respect you. They respect dudes that stand on their own feet and stand up to them.
I was in a meeting today, and one boss said to a boss up under him, it was like a Zoom, and he said, man, back up from the camera, you hard on the eyes. Now he told the subordinate that. He's like, man, you back up off the camera. He said, now the other guy told the one that was above him, he said, man, I'm not as ugly as you. And you know what the boss said? He said, good, keep fighting, young man. That's what I want to hear.
Wow.
And if not, you got to be yourself. Like you said, be true to yourself, bro. Because just real quick, I hadn't worked with these guys in over a year. They contacted me a week ago to come get my, they give you an axe. And I ain't worked with them over a year, a retirement gift. I didn't expect it. So when I went to them, they was like, yeah, but you was always, stand-up guy. Because even though I got in the beef with guys, I worked hard and they respect. I'm just talking, I'm sorry, you guys are older. I was talking.
No, go ahead.
But I stayed true to myself and I worked hard. You know what I'm saying, brother? So that's awesome. Yeah, go on. Like he said, like what the brother always say, stand on your square. Hey, yes, brother.
You can't, I don't care if you don't like the individual man, you have to respect it.
Right.
You have to respect him. If the man is a man, stands on what he is and stands firm and then produces, you can't do nothing but respect it. You don't have to like, people don't like Kobe Bryant. Kobe died and everybody loved him. I'm like, no, I kind of remember everybody actually hated him, but everybody respected him. Because why? Because of his ability. Because he didn't change who he was. He couldn't fight, but he was gonna throw punches. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't backing down from nobody. People, he said, like what Shaq said, man, this man's crazy. He rode up on me trying to fight me. He's crazy. Why? Because he believed in. I'm not saying you should go out and fighting people. What I'm saying is, you just gotta be a man. That's part of it. Sometimes it might be an ass whooping. You scared of an ass whooping. That's a lot of people. You scared of an ass whooping. but you can't necessarily be scared of no ass whooping. You know, so and sometimes in some situations you might have to die. It's that serious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want nobody to die though.
No, I'm talking in extreme cases.
I know, bro. I'm just teasing.
It's certain situations where somebody got to die. It's cases like that for men, but we not, we're not operating in that. You think about some of these cultures, man, they say, okay, you want to be a man, go kill a lion.
Mm-hmm.
You're not shooting it, you got a spear. Man, you
The
can't
gospel,
be huh?
The gospel is an example of that with the prophets and the disciples. I mean, you gotta lay your life down for what you believe in.
Yeah, the Messiah is the epitome of manhood.
Yes, sir.
Sacrificing himself for his church or his bride. Yeah, that's the epitome.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Or standing on principle.
Right.
Like Peter said, who should we believe? God or you? God or man? Which one?
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's what people respect. And that's the kind of thing that you can show your children, really, your sons in particular.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But a lot of that's lost, man. It's just, I don't know. Anybody else have anything? Nobody else had anything? Going once, going twice. Real quick.
Manhood. Can you hear me?
Oh, here we go. Go ahead. But you gotta you gotta get rid of that echo though, brother.
I have an echo. I don't know where it's coming from. Is it still there?
Only when I talk.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all hear that? Or is it just me?
We hear it.
Yeah, we can hear it. We hear it.
Can you mute whatever you like?
I don't
Is
know
it on
what's
YouTube
making
or
noise.
something?
No. Wait,
You go ahead
I
and
may
talk.
be-
I'll
hold on,
shut up.
hold
I'm
on,
gonna put
yeah.
myself on mute.
No, hold on. There may be something running. No, there's nothing running outside of this. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you, brother.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Is there
Yes,
an
sir.
echo now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Certainly, when it comes to manhood, I agree, and that's what I look at in terms of what Jesus did as Messiah, what he came and did, and how he laid his life down. That is the approach, and that's what I look to in terms of an example as to what I should do. So I try not to do anything outside of what I think will be approval in the sight. Just fight somebody, just to fight somebody. It boils down to, am I in the right? Because I want God's approval in this confrontation. So if it's a confrontation where I'm totally defending myself, then okay. But if it's a confrontation that maybe it has come about because of something that I've done or did not do, then I have some responsibility that created that situation. So it may not have God's approval, and that's what's important. That's what's important to me. What comes to mind is something you talk about often, Brother Elijah. You talk about how we need land. And that was the first thing we got was land. So we need land in order for us to be able to stand up and be men and be able to do the things we say we need to do as men. We need to have a source of land where we can protect ourselves and get food and shelter. Without that land, we are in our situation, we are without anything. We're up in the air naked, trying to fight somebody or go against something that we have no foundation at all, including our God that we've turned away from, which is what we need first and foremost. So our manhood should be based upon, that you just mentioned, fearing God rather than fearing some man that's standing before us, and especially even like these policemen coming at us with all these guns and all these weapons and all this protection that they have that's coming at us. Fine. If it's time for us to have to pay the price, as he paid the price, then we need to be paying the price. At some point, even though we may end up dying. Look at the example we end up being. They're trying to use an example like a Martin Luther King as an example, but he's not the example that we need to have because his direction was not where we should be going. So we need to consider what we need to get back to. And we're a long way from where we should be. Once we start taking all these layers off from where we are and realize what we are and where we are and what we need to be, we've got a lot of work to do just on one another, just on ourselves. And understand that if we do follow the word and do the things that are written in the word, then that would be that should be our way out and our stepping step to becoming men. And not value the things we value. We would value. I'm trying to think of some examples where, you know, they all the time they were always putting everybody at risk and putting themselves at risk first and foremost. The men were. So it's like when we man up, even when the police come around and they're abusing somebody, if we man up, we become men and man up in terms of that, they may shoot everybody down. But if every time they got to confront men in that situation, it may become more aggressive, but it will wake some people up to start doing the same thing. It won't be such a one-sided affair, and we will have our God fighting with us in that situation because we are doing what he's instructed us to do, manning up, and our manning up will start by being obedient to his words, his statutes, and judgments. So then he's going to be with us. So we know if he's with us, it's like, what is there to fear?
I want to read something. I'm gonna put you on mute, brother. This is Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter, and this is something that Moses said. And this is verse 6. He says, "Be strong and of good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them, for the Lord thy God." Matter of fact, let me go up a little bit. It says, now this he 120 years old, right? He said, Isaiah, mute for me if you don't mind, brother. Thank you. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old. Hold on, brother. Who's this? Brother Wayman, mute, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you want me to do? Mute?
Yeah. Appreciate it. It says, and he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also, the Lord has said unto me, thou shalt not go over this Jordan. He said, the Lord thy God, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee, and thou shalt possess them. And Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as the Lord hath said. And the Lord shall do unto them as he did to Sihon and to Og, kings of the Amorites, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. And the Lord shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according unto all the commandments which I have commanded you. So when we talk about land, you know, they actually had to go in and fight and actually conquer that land. They actually go in and had to take it. People were there. They didn't just lay down. They had to go and take it. Then it said, be strong and of good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them, for the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Then he said something, Moses called unto Joshua and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, be strong and of good courage, for thou must go with this people unto the land which the Lord hath sworn unto their fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. So he told him as a man to be strong, right? Let's go to another place. I want to read a couple places, just a couple of these charges that he got. Actually, I just read another. This is 2 2 Kings, the second chapter. I mean, 1 Kings, the second chapter, and verse 1. Now, this is David talking to his son Solomon. He said, now the days of David drew nigh, that or near, which is what now means, that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. You know, he told him to be a man. And then he said, so he said, I'm going the way of all earth. You think about it, you're gonna die anyway. You know, but all the fear that you might have, you're gonna die anyway. He said, I'm going away of all earth. He said, man, show thyself a man. And he charged him, you know, to keep the charge of the Lord, be strong and of good courage, as similar charge in that sense, but be obedient unto God. If you walking with God, you're obedient unto him, as a man, we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid. We should not be operating in fear. So, man, brothers, we probably need to end this and pick it up next week. I wasn't thinking that, I don't know what I was thinking, but I wasn't thinking that we wouldn't be able to get through the first part. But we'll pick it up next week. I appreciate you, brothers, coming on here and imparting some gems and some knowledge and something for us to think about. I appreciate it. And I have some things to think about. So that, brothers, and hopefully, Lord willing, I'll see you for the Q&A tomorrow evening.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Yeah.
Peace,
Well,
brother.
peace, everybody.
Yeah, soon.
Peace, brother.
All right.